Okay, we're going to try this again since this audio that I did started getting really choppy and then just took out question three and went blank from there as far as audio. So we're going to try this. We were at Equitable Remedies, and instead of seeking merely just monetary damages, this is where the plaintiff is asking the court, please make the defendant do something, do an act or refrain from an act. And so we have specific performance, which basically is saying, hey, you need to do what you said you were going to do. This is usually with things like sale of land, sale of shares in a company, or could be something like a very special item that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. I got this big antique clock that I was going to buy. I contracted to buy it. Now they're not going to sell it to me. They changed their mind. Well, I don't want the money for it. I don't want damages. There's no damages. It's I want what you said you were going to give me. So I'm going to ask for specific performance. But what I can't do is ask the court to do specific performance on something that is a service or especially a specialized service. Because think about it. If I breached contract with you because I was supposed to paint your house, and the court orders me to paint your house, that's going to work out well, right? And think about it. If I'm an opera singer and I just want you to sing at my party like you said you would, really, how well is my opera singing going to be, right? So it's usually used where it's to hand over something where monetary damages isn't a good remedy, yet it wouldn't be something that by requiring the defendant to do it, it's going to cause more issues for the court down the line. And injunctions. Injunctions are orders that basically tell them to perform or even abstain from something. Please tell them that they need to not do X because that's what we contracted and now they're doing it and I need you to have them stop. Okay. So, number three quiz question is here. Number four is also here. And now let's go to damages, types of damages. So when we look at damages, what we're looking at is what can we do to help make the person whole from the contract to get the benefit of their bargain. And direct damages are going to be a loss in value. Consequential damages are going to be I've suffered some harm because of their breach. They ordered all this product from me and now they don't want to pay for it. And now I've had to pay for storage. That would be a consequential damage. Nominal damages, hey, you got it right, but you're not out any money, so you get $1. So what's the point? Well, sometimes it's a way to hurt the defendant's reputation, to really make a point with them that, hey, this is not the way you should deal. Liquidated damages are built into a contract, and basically ahead of time you pre-estimate, hey, if they don't get my house done when they said they did, I have to be out of my other house, so I'm going to have to pay for hotel, furniture, storage, etc. Those are going to be written up in your contract, and the court's going to go by them as long as they don't appear to be penalty clauses, because those are not going to be followed by the court. And that's where you have like a certain disproportionate amount. Hey, you didn't finish my house on time, so I want you to give me $1,000 a day. That's not going to be enough. You got to have to be able to justify it because contracts, what we're trying to do is make people live up to their contracts. Remember, we always have our equitable remedies of specific performance and injunction too. What limits our damages? Well, one is if we don't have with reasonable certainty what our damages are, we're required to be able to calculate those with reasonable certainty. And they have to be damages that were foreseeable at the time of contracting. And one of the most important things is duty to mitigate. So that means if you're not going to take all the items that I have, I have a duty to try to sell them and then maybe collect the difference of the loss I got of profit. But I have a duty to also mitigate the damages. So when are we excused from non-performance? Well, illness or death at some times, a supervening illegality, meaning, hey, it wasn't illegal at the time. So remember when I used the examples of, hey, they changed the law, but I didn't know, and we entered into this contract, and so it's void, right? Well, same is if there's a supervening illegality after we make the contract, that would be an excuse for non-performance. A destruction of the subject matter, I'm going to sell you my house, but my house burnt down. Impossibility, that's a difficult one to prove. And a lot of times these kind of blur together. It's like, well, subject matter destruction is kind of impossibility anyway. But it's not going to be enough for you to just say, hey, this is going to be very, very harsh on me because all of a sudden the price of wood to build your house went up exponentially. That's not going to be enough to get you out of the contract. Impracticability means basically there's another unforeseeable event materially changing the nature of your obligation under the contract. So again, it's you're renting me a venue for a party, and that venue is something's wrong with it, and there is no other venue that would suffice for my party that would be a feasible thing. That's a possibility. And frustration of purpose is basically anytime the primary contractual purpose is frustrated, it's possible you can get out. Courts do not really like to excuse performance on contracts. So what they'll do is they may take out a clause that's making it impossible. They may take out, or they may say, okay, but is there a way that this contract could still be done later down the line? So they want to encourage people to keep with their contracts and their promises. Here are questions 5 and 6 for and if you enter them in your little quiz thing. 7 and then 8 is below 7. Discharge. Basically, what is discharge? Okay, so discharge can happen many ways. One is, and the most popular way is I do my job under the contract, you do yours, and we're discharged. If there is a material breach, what we do is we say, hey, that breach has discharged the breaching party, which is a little bizarre, but it says, hey, we're gonna discharge you from your duties, but now we are going to also claim damages. Substantial performance obligates the promisee to pay something for the benefit, and then that would be discharged as well. And reasonable assurances. So basically, this is anticipatory breach or repudiation. If someone tells you, I'm not going to be able to follow through the contract, you have certain things you can decide. You can decide to wait and see if they fulfill the contract, and if they don't, you can sue them then, or you can just let it go. You can go ahead and have them discharged at that time and sue right away after reasonable assurances, meaning you have to ask them, hey, are you going to follow through? And if they don't reasonably assure you in a quick, prompt manner, then there will be a discharge there. Other reasons for discharge include the parties' agreement. We just say, hey, you know what? This isn't working for either of us. Let's just be done with it, which is the same as mutual. We have accord and satisfaction where we agree on how we're going to handle it and we satisfy the debt. And we have waiver, and waiver means I'm just not going to enforce the contract. I'm going to let you be discharged because when you told me you didn't think you were going to do it, I didn't do much about it. So I waived it. And alteration. You can always alter your discharge from the original contract. Then you will have your new. And then after you meet the terms of a bankruptcy, the court will enter in they'll discharge you from the debts. Question 9 and 10 is here. If you have any questions, let me know. Please go on to your module. I took some time to put some cheat sheets up there for you, having to do with third parties and having to do with this performance and breach. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know.